house yet up there?
No, is that good?
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, small bar, but they have really good food, and they have this octopus dish.
Ooh.
It's amazing.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. Hello, this is Marco Cronin with Windermere Real Estate. Thank you for joining us at another episode of our Coffee Table Chat. Today I'm joined by Jay Kroll from Cornerstone Home Lending. And we always try to share some factual stories of clients of ours, maybe questions that people have emailed us about, and we feel this is a great way to get the information out to people. So I have a scenario for you. If you have some ideas for our clients, that'd be awesome.
Sure.
Okay. So one of the biggest things right now in our crazy Seattle market is all of the competing offers, and things are escalating, and buyers are frankly getting frustrated.
Right.
And we've had a couple buyers that have called or had questions about, should I wait? I mean, this market's crazy, and I'm afraid I'm overpaying, and maybe we should just rent for a year or two and hit the market when it cools down. Have you heard people ask about this as well?
Yeah, that's a commonly asked question,
Okay.
and obviously every situation differs.
Yeah.
And I think people when it comes to housing, it's not just necessarily from the investment standpoint. It's finding a place that works for your lifestyle and what you need and your family needs and all those components. But when you look at the cost of possibly waiting, that sometimes can change the perspective of having to leaning into this market, having to pay a few more inspection fees, and having to kind of lean into getting the property. I think it obviously comes down to finding a good property for your needs. But when we look at today's current interest rates versus some of the projections of the future,
Right.
and kind of weighing out those different scenarios, we like to provide people a cost of waiting that allows them to be able to think about, well, what would that same house look like in the future at 3% drop in price?
Okay.
And if that were to happen, or what happens if the local economists are right? What if we do see a 7% rate appreciation for housing, and then we see the forecasted higher rates?
Right.
That can be a big impact. So we ran a scenario for somebody the other day, and it was $1 million purchase, and we did that 3% drop, but we also increased the rate to what all the economists are projecting, and that payment was almost $510 more a month.
A month more.
A
Even
month
though
more.
the value of the house went down 3%.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we did that same scenario and said, well, what if it does appreciate like they're projecting it to,
Okay.
and we see that higher interest rate? Now we're almost at $800 a month more in monthly payment.
Okay.
That's pretty significant, and I think it puts things in perspective a little bit better. And I think so oftentimes we get caught up in, well, I don't want to overpay on my price. Well, it's like, maybe stepping up another $10,000-$15,000 on a house gets you the house, but it also gets you today's interest rate, which are at historic lows.
It's true. I think people forget about, they get hung up on an eighth of a percentage point or a quarter, and they, I remember when I bought my first house, I think my interest rate was 11%.
Seriously?
Yeah.
We got my first house, and it was just under 8.
Just under 8.
So it was 7 7/8, and my dad was like, "This is amazing." So
yeah, you got to keep in perspective.
Yeah.
Now, are there any tools that you use daily? Somebody wants to run some scenarios. Do I wait? Do I rent? I mean, are there tools that you use?
Yeah, it's really important for us. Is our commitment to our clients is to be a mortgage planner, not just a loan officer says, "Here's your loan."
Okay.
And one of the tools that we look at is a cost of waiting analysis, and it's a report that I can provide you.
Okay.
And it outlines today's scenarios versus future scenarios, and so we have a cost of waiting report that is really useful. That kind of same scenario we talked about of the $1 million buyer, we did one for a $500,000 buyer, and the difference was like $500 if they waited and things all got worst case scenario.
Okay.
But even if the values dropped but rates went up, it was still almost $300 in impact and savings
a month, and that's $3,600 a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money. I mean, when you factor in a 30-year mortgage,
Right.
that's a lot of dollar bills.
Yeah, and it's more money than a few inspections to get down to getting your house that you need. So we'll load that tool up that you guys use, and we'll put it on the blog post so our clients can use it as well.
Great.
So Jay, I appreciate the info.
Thanks, Marco. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. So as a reminder, there is a cost of waiting. So run that analysis for yourself in your scenario. And if you have questions, you can either give Jay a call or you can email me, marco@urbanmarco.com. See you on the next one.